XX actually promotes art, technology, and women. So we're specifically based in media arts. And Studio XX was founded in 1996, so we're celebrating actually our 15th anniversary year this year. Actually, it's called Méta, Femmes, nchées, which we present once every year. We usually have Femmes nchées events once every month, but Méta, Femmes, nchées, it's kind of a special event where we feature sort of a bigger theme and more artists, and it's sort of a bigger special night. The initial theme that was introduced is art and genders, the trans and queer and feminist perspectives, which got initiated through our online publication called DPI.
So DPI is an online feminist art journal that comes out through Studio XX in Montreal. And this is actually my first time interacting with them in any way, which I'm super excited to be kind of thrown into the mix.
We received more submissions than we ever had before, and realized that it was a very actual theme and interesting issue to discuss.
I mean, they chose themselves. The submissions, as Jimena was mentioning earlier, for this issue kind of shot through the roof. It was unprecedented, and that's why there was this two-parter with the installation of works here in the space at Studio XX in accompaniment with the online. Well, for this selection, I guess we tried to be as far-reaching as possible, get as many different perspectives. What we found is all of these artists had a performative aspect in common. They were either using their own bodies or representing their own communities.
Memorandum to those fellas at the gym. Dude, I see your biceps. I see your triceps, quadriceps, except I'm not interested.
So I suppose I could say that my zines, my fanzines, the series that I make, the life and times of Bushlights, and I suppose I could say that they are some sort of comment on fanzines and zine culture, and that they are like meta artifacts of critical thinking. But I don't think they are. I think they are just fanzines. And they are the work of a fan paying homage to her heroes and the subcultures surrounding them. And I just do this out of like pure love and gratitude.
I do mostly installation and multidisciplinary art, but that's like largely centered around performance and video. I really like immersive pieces that like are an entire room. You walk into a room, it's like my world, and then I like tell you what's happening there. So this world that I like to make in my pieces is all about, like, for me, anything to do with like trans critical discourse, trans studies critical discourse, and like its involvement and informant through centering itself on the like interests of marginalized people.
I'm a researcher for the next 2 years at McGill, where I study gender and architecture. So that's a kind of way in to say that I think a lot about gender and context, which of course is like a spatial idea. So if I think about the context of my work in that sense, what kind of spaces does it intersect with? I think what I try to do is show that it's not ever about like one isolatable issue like trans or feminist or queer, but I try to sort of show the interconnectedness of my sort of different contexts. So I would say, you know, I identify with trans stuff, queer stuff, feminist stuff, but I think at the forefront of my work usually is stuff to do with body size and fat. My pounds were lost, but now they're found. And trying to see how loosening the norms on like health and body size are related to queer and trans liberation.
It's very exciting on International Women's Day to launch something that speaks about kind of creative representations of gender in an incredibly rich array. And while not every work engages explicitly and singularly with kind of gendered representation. I think they all do a lot of work in dispelling gender myths and kind of breaking apart binary conceptions of gender and stereotypes that were fed through mainstream media. So I'm really happy about that. I think the date is important to mark, and yeah, I see it as an opening and space for huge dialogue.
A big project that is coming out this year for Studio XX is the HTML Festival, which will be happening on November 2012 from the 10 to 18 of November. So you can actually go on the website that we created. It's HTML, it's called htmlles.net to get all the updates that are coming.